Hello, Pisces. Welcome. Take a seat and relax. There is nothing you need to do in this present moment except to relax and enjoy your reading. And this week I wanted to scramble these up before we start. This is what I want here. Okay. Let's get aligned real quick. And then we'll flip over your first card to begin your reading. And that is number 14. This is my meditate card. And this doesn't necessarily mean to sit there with your legs crossed and go, If that is comfortable for you, then yes, more than welcome to meditate by sitting down comfortably and going, But if you're wearing a dress and you're crossing your legs because nobody wants to see that, that's a quote straight from Michael from The Office. But meditate in whatever way is comfortable to you. Just remember what the goal for meditation is, and that is to be quiet and to listen. The goal is not necessarily to not think. The goal is to be quiet and to listen, to be receptive. So you are listening. You are most likely going to be thinking, but you are going to listen to your reaction to those thoughts. That's how you be receptive, and you watch. Watch what you have to say and watch how you react. Another word for being in this meditative state is to lock in. Do people stop talking when they lock in? No, they're just locked in. They are focused on exactly what they are doing and they are not thinking about anything else. Thoughts will pop up, but they are more quiet and they are only talking if it is relative to the situation at hand. That is what locking in means. Okay. So meditate. Whatever gets you to be quiet and to listen. So this isn't even sitting down. Could be doing a creative project, doing an art project, doing some arts and crafts. The way I've noticed that when I am in a meditative state is that I tend to stick my tongue out. I don't even think about doing it. I don't control it. Whenever I am focused on the thing that I am doing, my tongue goes out and I stick my tongue out. But that is me being in a meditative state. That is me locking in. So make sure you are quiet and listen. You are being receptive and you are watching. You are watching what you have to say and you are watching how you react. Three of Cups and Beyond Illusion. Wow. So if you are learning something new, is it good to talk all the time? Is it good to basically be the one talking and how you are supposed to do this new thing? Or is it better if you allow others to teach you, to tell you about this new thing? Right? When we are learning new things, it is better to be like a baby. It is insane how much a baby has to learn, but they are very receptive and they watch. And they're like a sponge that just everything, all information. And they're extremely intelligent, even though seems like they don't know anything, but they are so intelligent that they are so good at learning all of these new things that they have to learn to be able to function in society. So this is a moment of something new coming into your life, and it is something that is going to cooperate with you. Maybe you haven't been going through those type of situations. Maybe that's why you might be against cooperating and being around other people right now. But the more we are quiet, the more we listen, the more we can learn from this new thing that is happening. This new thing that is happening is this Beyond Illusion card, which I will read because this is going to be the main emphasis in this situation. Why we should be more receptive. So the butterfly in this card represents the outer, that which is constantly moving and that which is not real but an illusion. Behind the butterfly is the face of consciousness, looking inward to that which is eternal. The space between the two eyes has opened, revealing the lotus of spiritual unfoldment and the rising sun of awareness. To the rising of the inner sun, meditation is born. Weird. I'm not even kidding you. We have meditate card, and then we have this: through the rising of the inner sun, meditation is born. The space between the two eyes has opened, revealing the lotus of spiritual unfoldment and the rising sun of awareness. Through the rising of the inner sun, meditation is born. The card reminds us not to look outside for what is real, but to look within. When we focus on externals, we too often get caught up in judgments. This is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that. So that's referring to this Three of Cups card. These judgments keep us trapped in our illusions, our sleepiness, our old habits and patterns. Drop your opinionated mind and move inside. There you can relax into your own deepest truth, where the difference between dreams and reality is already known. Be receptive and watch, especially within yourself. So it is time to set aside the thoughts. Interesting. Okay, so this is like, say you were already not listening to these people, right? You were trying to follow your own guide. And maybe you distance yourself from these other people that keep trying to tell you how to live your life. But they are still lingering around in your thoughts. They are still lingering around when you come across situations. The thoughts that are coming up are usually thoughts that you hear from the outside world, and you repeat them, right? Our mind can't really make up new words. Your mind just repeats words that it has already heard. So maybe you are going through a situation to where you feel like things should be better because you already put this aside. You already put these people aside that keep trying to tell you how to live your life, but they are still lingering around in your mind. So next step is to meditate, to listen. If you hear a thought that isn't for your best being, that isn't helping, then you notice it. You ask where it came from. If you notice that it is coming from the people that used to be around you, then we kick that thought, like, scream, "This is Sparta," and kick that thought off the cliff and then keep on thinking. So we are being receptive and watching the thoughts that keep coming up, the situations that keep coming up, that remind us of the things that we are trying to leave behind. Beyond illusion, this inner awareness is finally coming out. This inner you is coming out. And it is trying to be held back by these three people. These three people are like, no, we gotta keep them trapped. But you already said no to them. So now time to say no to them in your mind. Valor, Seven of Wands, and change. Okay, more X's, that's cool. You see there's 3 now. There was 3 over here that we left behind. The X's, you leave those behind. And with the 7 of Wands, valor. This is the energy of keep on moving, keep on swimming. The 7 and 8 and the 9 are where we understand. Right, we already came across the 4, 5, 6. The 6 is the element at its best, right? Like perfection. It says like the reflection of God is in the 6s. The reflection of perfection is in the 6s. But you don't recognize it as perfection. You don't recognize it as good. You don't recognize it as victory yet. Because if the only thing I knew was hot and I didn't have cold to compare it to, I wouldn't know that this is hot. I would just say this is normal. So we run into perfection at its or at its best, right? The element at its best in the 6s, but then you keep going. Then you run into the 7, 8s, and 9s, and this is where we understand, right? This is where we run into the hot, and then we keep going, and then we run into the cold, and we're like, oh, we don't want to go over here, we want to go over here. So the 7, 8s, and 9s is the energy at its I don't know what word to use. Distorted. There we go. That is the right word to use. So the 7, 8s, and 9s are the energy at its most distorted. But it's a good thing that it becomes distorted, because it shows us what that energy in a perfect balance is. Or else we wouldn't know what that energy in the perfect balance is. Right? Change happens. Right? We wouldn't be able to compare summer to winter if that change didn't happen. So things keep changing, because if they were consistent, there would be no thing. There would be no thing. There would just be the one thing. So change. King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. And look at that. They are sitting in their own power. They are both sitting straight, looking forward. They are seated, and they are in control. Not in control of the other people, but they are in control of themselves. This is the inner awareness that finally became the outer awareness as well. The Hierophant can see situations from a different angle than us. So if we are quiet enough and listen to the Hierophant within, we can get a full picture of what's going on. Because our perception is only half of it, right? And then someone else's perception is only half of it. You have to see things from a different angle to get the full picture, right? This is like a 2D person, 2D ant or something walking this way and that way, right? But they're going through the thing. If a 3D person from up here can see the whole picture, right? While the ant has to go through it one by one. So same with you, right? The events that you are going through, obviously you are seeing them one by one, right? It's like a timeline that you are going through, and it's linear. You're going through things one by one. The Hierophant can see things from up here. This inner awareness can see things from up here. And the inner awareness can see the full picture. Oh, he's going through this because then it's taking him over here, which then takes him over here, and it takes him over here, which is where we want to be. And that's what the 7s, 8s, 9s are, right? That kind of journey, the progress that shows you, hey, look, this is what we want over here. So imagine the mentality of the ant going one by one by one, and the mentality of the Hierophant that can see the full picture, that can see things from up here and understand why things are happening the way that they are. There is a huge change in those two mentalities. The Hierophant is going to be a lot more relaxed. He's going to be more knowledgeable, right? And has more information. But he has a perception as well on this information, on interpreting this information. So to be able to get the full picture, we have to be quiet and listen. We can't just tell, right? Imagine your guides show up and you're over here telling them how they should be doing things. When they can see a lot more than us, you know. So when guides pop up, it's time to listen and to learn something new, to change our perspective so that we can make better decisions and live a better life. And he's paired with this King of Pentacles. So look at that. That's the outer, right? The pentacles are the things you can see. The inner are things you can't really see. You know, I can't really see my heart, but I know it's there because scientists tell us because they saw things from a different perspective. using tools, and then they can see your insides, right? But us with our human eyes can't really see those insides. We needed to learn, like, how do they do, like electromagnetics, isn't that how they look inside? I don't know, but see, they have to use a different angle, right? They have to use they have to change their way of looking at things. So this King of Pentacles, this is the Hierophant finally on the outer. The outside things are also being taken care of, just as well as those inner things were being taken care of. And now you can see it on the outside. That is the change that is happening here. So listen and accept whatever change is happening, whatever new things are happening. And instead of trying to be stuck in our old way of being, let's fight our way through into this new way of being. And I'll get a couple, I think we'll just do one today. We're going to do this one. 31. This is cool. Especially with how I was explaining the linear, the ant going through things one by one. So this is a quote from Nelly. She says, "I walked right into a job for which I was ill-prepared, ill-suited, and somebody else already had, and I got it. Anything can happen to anyone. It's just random." But the ant doesn't see it that way. The ant sees it as, oh, I am being, I deserve going through these bad things, right? This is life paying me back for all the things I did. The ant is building a story while it's going through things one by one. But the Hierophant is saying, hey, things are very random, my guy. Take pi, for example, right? 3.14152965359. So if I showed you that string of digits, you could immediately recognize it as pi, right? Because you've already gone through the thing. We've been learning. But if you did not know what pi was, you would say that those are just a string of random numbers, right? We go from 3 to 1 to 4 to 1 to 5 to 2 to 9. That's just random. But pi is always pi. Pi is always random in that same way, right? Imagine you going through the cards and them being random, but they are random in that sort of way every time. And that is what chaos is. It may seem random, but there is an order to it, beyond illusion. Pi, no matter how random it seems, will always be pi. And life is pi. Life, no matter how random it seems, has an order to it. And this Hierophant, we just have to see it from a different angle, a different perspective. How cool would it be to figure out that perspective so you can live life in a better way, instead of living life like that ant that is just complaining the whole way through. Alright, I hope this reading helped. Pisces, if it did help, please help me as well by liking, writing a comment, or subscribing if you would like to keep hanging out, as this is a safe place where we try to figure life out together. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.